this is Tracy from GiftBasketAppeal, and today I'm doing a design team project for Maymay Made It. The challenge for this month, the month of November, is emboss like a boss. So I'm going to be doing some embossing technique. I'm going to do the heat emboss, so let's get started. So I'm going to be using two stamp sets that have been out for a while, but I wanted to try it on these stamp sets because I like the big letters. I'm going to be using the Blessed sentiment, but I love this. This is actually the Thankful, Grateful, Blessed. And if you don't have this in your craft room, you need to get that one. I really love it. It's got a lot of things going on it, especially like thankful for your kindness, thankful for your family. So you can kind of mix it up. Truly thankful. Love this set. This one I used already on another card that I created. It was kind of my practice card, but I really like the way it turned out. This is the Relic stamp set. So if you like stamp sets with patterns, this is a great stamp set for you. Okay, so what you'll need to do heat embossing is Versamark watermark stamp pad. And if you look at it, it has no color to it. Let me just show you what that looks like. So it doesn't have any color to it, but this is what helps the embossing powder stick to your card. And you'll see that in a moment. This is the embossing powder. This is called Nuvo Fine Detail Embossing Powder. And I have to kind of explain everything because I'm new at it. It kind of helps me to teach you. So once we put this embossing powder over our Versamark ink, it allows it to adhere to the paper. Okay, so you'll see in a moment. It's easier to show you. And then I have this heat tool. It's a Darice heat tool. I don't use it much. I got it about a year ago, but I don't use it. But guess what? Now that I've done my first embossing, I'm going to be using it more. Okay, so before you get started, you want to have some kind of paper to kind of have so that your powder doesn't go all over the place. I think that's what makes me a little bit nervous about this, but it'll be okay. I'm going to stamp Blessed on here. And that's going to go on my card. So let's see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to just go for it. Sometimes you just got to do it, right? Okay, so I'm going to ink this up. We've already got Blessed loaded onto there. I'm just going to ink this up a little bit here. And the nice thing is when you're learning a new technique, you can only get better if you keep trying. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and press this onto here, and you'll see this in a moment, what's going to happen. And there's so many techniques on YouTube. I watched a couple of them, but after a while, you just have to go ahead and do it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see that. You can kind of see lightly that that's on there. So that's the Versamark ink. That's what it looks like. That's what it's supposed to look like. Don't worry yet. Now what you do is you take your powder, and this is this is gold, and it looks so elegant. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to use that one on here. Great for making holiday cards too. So now you're going to just take your powder, and I know some people had spooned it out of a larger container. I'm just going to pour it right on here. I may just go ahead and transfer it to a container where I just keep it and maybe label it. But I have seen this technique done, and I just never tried it. If it wasn't for the challenge, I probably wouldn't have been trying it right now. So what I'm going to do is, you see how that's all covered up? I'm just going to shake it off. And with powders, it makes me a little bit nervous because it can go it can go terribly wrong. Okay, now, I noticed when I did this, I saw a lot of kind of like just a little bit of dust on here. So I'm just taking this little makeup brush and I'm just gonna brush this off. And this is like a 99-cent makeup brush. So I don't want all of that powder on the outside there. So I'm just taking my time and cleaning it up just a little bit. Trying to be gentle. Now there is a powder that you can apply to your paper before you stamp, and that allows all of the little dustings that are around your words or your image to not stick like this. So there won't be much cleaning up, but I'm good. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Okay, so now, important, before I apply the heat to it, because it blows on here, before I apply the heat, I'm putting this powder back into my container. So I'm just going to fold this up. And I know some people had like little funnels that they used to put it back in, and just carefully, very carefully put that back into your container. Okay. And as I move along in this whole process of embossing, I can only get better, right? Okay, so let me cover this up because that can go wrong too. Okay, so now for the fun part. You need to set this with the heat. Right now it's stuck to it, you see it? And it doesn't look like much right now, but watch what happens when I turn on my heat gun. So now I'm going to keep my heat gun on because it's going to be a little bit loud, but I want you to kind of see the process. So now I'm going to turn it on, let it heat up a little bit before you start to kind of spread it over your image. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. Do you see what's happening there? Look at that, just like magic. Oh my goodness, I was fascinated. This is where I fell in love with embossing, was when I saw this. Okay, and so there it is. I think that little part right there, let me just do that little tiny part. Okay, so look at that. Now it's not perfect, but it's still cute. I may go in with this, right? This is a gold pen. It's a Uniball gel pen, and I might just go over those little parts that didn't come out, just to fix it up a little bit. You can see there's always a way around it, but look how pretty that looks. So imagine I can only get better and better and better. So now let's put this aside, and now we're gonna work with this right here. And I'm like, oh boy. So what I decided to do is I saw in a couple of videos, someone used, a couple of people used these pencils, the top of the pencil. Just put that there. They took the top of the pencil and just kind of made polka dots. So I want dots all over my surface here. So all they did was they just kind of, make sure I got this, a good fold on that. So this is kind of sticky. See how that is? Yeah. So I'm just taking the top of my pencil. I'm going to make these dots all over it where I want. Let's see. On there. I love polka dots. And I really hope that with you seeing me trying to do this new technique, that you give this a try also. And I will put all of the links to Maymay's store in the description box. Because she has a few of the embossing powders. They come in different colors. A big variety. But you imagine you can do all your sentiments in gold for the holiday season. I think this would be good like for a wedding card. Something like that, like to have this gold. Okay, and you might not be able to see this, but I can see it pretty good, like where I want these dots to be. Now, let me just check for a moment, because I do want this to go across here, like that. You see what I'm trying to do there? But first, I'm going to have to, I'm probably going to cut this down. So I'll cut that down after. Let's go ahead and, if I have enough on there, I'm going to apply my embossing powder again, the fun part, and then we're going to heat it up. Okay, so now for you experts that do embossing a lot, I forgot yesterday when I was trying this out to wipe down my my image or my sentiment, and so let me know if that causes any damage to it, because I probably need to do that too. Just wipe it off as soon as I use it. Okay, so now that that's on there, let's go ahead and pour this on again. A little bit of dust on there. Okay, but give this a try. I might look a little bit awkward in the video, but I do want you to give this a try, because to me it's so well worth it. So I'm just going to pour it over. This is probably why people usually use a little spoon or something and a bigger container. But I'm just going to do it like this. And now, so if I'm covering this larger space, I probably should have just knocked that side off and then the other. It's probably going to have some dusting on it too, so I'll wipe that down off camera. Okay, so let's do this. Let you see it. Yes, I should have probably knocked one side off and then the other. So I'm going to have to go back and clean that up. But I love to leave my errors on camera so you can see that. So look, you see that? That's like a mess. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clean this up, and then we'll come back and we'll heat it up. Okay, so now that I cleaned up that mess, we're going to go ahead and apply the heat. Now, there is that powdered stuff that you add to it. What I'll do is I will put that link in the description box below, because I know Maymay has that in her store. So I'll go ahead and do that. That way you don't have to have all that cleanup. It's well worth it. So I'm going to go ahead and heat this up again. Okay, and look at that. And my card is warped a little bit, but I'm not going to worry about that. I can straighten that out a little bit. But let me know if any of y'all have that problem as well, but it's actually straightening itself out. Okay, so now I'm going to actually add my sign to this. And I did put just a little white border around it. So I'm going to go ahead and add this on. Okay, so here's what we have so far. And I added some stitching around here using this gold gel pen. And I'm just noticing that in here, there's a little bit of smudging. I think when I pressed that Versamark ink on there, I may have pressed it too much. And so if I just press lightly, just ink it up lightly, I think that would work to resolve that. But otherwise, I love this card and I love the layout of it. I did pop it up on some mounting tape. And I'm going to add one more thing, just a little flower here. I think that'll look really cute. Yeah, I'm going to put a flower right there. Yep. And so hopefully I embossed like a boss and not like I was lost, right? But either way, I had fun with it. I hope you give this a try. It's always nice to learn a new technique. I think I'll put it right there. And I'm going to fluff these petals up just a little bit. And so that's what I've got. Let me show you the other two cards that I did. And let me just show you how shiny this is. You see that? Look at that. Look at that. All I have to do is just kind of get some little things, practice a little bit more, get that powdered stuff that you can put over the card. That'll save some time too. But look how pretty this is. And this one says, friends don't grow apart when they are rooted in our hearts. So I love that. Did the polka dots. All I did was traced around something to do the circle. And here is another one. Look how that looks. Thankful, grateful, blessed. Put a nice little ribbon around there. And a paper flower. And some gold trim right around the edges. So there's so much you can do with embossing. And I love it. I'm going to get some more colors and try it out. I will put the link to Maymay's store below in the description box. I hope this inspired you to try something new. Don't worry if it doesn't turn out perfect. We don't do perfect, right? Don't worry if it doesn't turn out, exactly the way you pictured it. It's okay. Just go ahead and try again. So I'll be trying more of these techniques and I will show you in a video how it comes out. So I'll see you real soon. Take care, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Bye.